Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday, May 20th Planning Board meeting. I'd like everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Introduction of board members. To my left we have Jerry Graybill, and I, Michael LaRue, am acting chair. I have Allison Herlihy to my right and Paul Amatucci. All right, and now we have a public comment section, so this is open up to any resident of the town of Berwick.
I got no one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so moving forward, we're going to have a public hearing for conditional use amendment and site plan review, adult use marijuana production facility, 569 Portland Street, Easygoing LLC.
I do not believe anyone's here for the public hearing. No one, there's no abutters, received no abutter feedback.
Okay. And you guys aren't here for that, so I guess we'll close the public hearing. Another public comment? No, we're going to go to approval of minutes for May 6, 2021.
I make a motion to approve the minute.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
There we go. Old business, conditional use amendment and site plan review, adult use marijuana production facility, 569 Portland Street, Easygoing LLC. I'll let James take it away from there.
So you had a sidewalk earlier today. And we saw where the pad was previously going to be poured. They are going to move the building back 25 feet per our fire chief. We didn't have, so I don't think we had much that we were waiting for from the last meeting. There's no materials we requested. I added a couple of conditions of approval based on the conversations we had. The manufacturing lab shall be inspected by the Berwick Fire Chief and a third party. And I just put in parentheses that third party could be the Office of Marijuana Policy or it be a third party engineer. But it should be inspected before it's in operation. I understand the Office of Marijuana Policy does do periodic inspections. My assumption is they'll do an inspection before they're operational, but just to be sure. And then number 3, preventive maintenance shall be documented annually. And if the applicant wants more clarity on that, we just want annually to make sure that the preventive maintenance is being done, that the extraction lab, butane, we want to make sure that things are being changed out appropriately, and we want a log of that annually to be sent each calendar year. Other than that, that's all I have. I have the findings in front of you today. We have the applicant and their consultant, Evan, is on if you have any further questions. Other than that, yeah, it's back to you guys.
Okay, so we're going to be voting on completeness, or we're just...
This would be, the application could be approved tonight.
Okay.
You could look at approving the findings and improving the conditions and improving the application.
Okay, so we're going to look for approval of the findings of fact and then approve the application, right? Okay. So
Findings, conditions, yeah,
Okay.
there's 3, yeah.
Yeah, findings, conditions, and then approval.
All right, so I move to approve findings of fact.
I second.
All right, all in favor? Okay. And now it's the conditions of approval.
I think once they move it, there's 25 feet, they've met the conditions, right? Yeah, so,
Yep.
all right, I make a motion to approve the conditions.
Is Does that need?
Second.
Yep. Okay, and all in favor?
Right.
Okay, and now application approval.
Make a motion to approve. The application's complete.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? And there we go. Okay.
Jen, the applicants, they had a question on, I think the foundation on whether it needs to be what was the question, if it had to be inspected before?
Yeah,
Before,
do they
yeah.
need a
Before.
foundation inspection?
Yes.
Okay, they have that, thank you.
Okay, awesome, thank you, John.
Is that by you, Jen?
Yes, that will be by me.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Ron, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if we need to have the pad inspected before we lay it or after we lay it. Also, does it matter if we use fiber or rebar?
It really depends on what you have on your plan. I'll inspect it before pre-pour to make sure the poly's in place in the rebar, or if you're using fiber mesh, it's known what you're using in the slab.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So next for old business is preliminary plan, major subdivision, Haflinger Lane and Norman Court, Navina Acres LLC. I'll let James take it away.
Navina Acres is a 54-lot subdivision proposed by Navina Acres LLC located off Norman Court and Haflinger Lane. It's mostly in the R2 zone. 46.3 of 61.8 acres is proposed to be developed. Construction is proposed to begin fall of 2021 and completion of the subdivision by fall of 2023. Of the 60.4 acres, approximately 8.7 acres are wetlands. 1.14 acres of wetlands will be impacted by the project and will require, requires a Tier 3 NRPA permit. A crossing of Coffin Brook will be replaced with an arch culvert. The proposed stormwater BMPs include 4 wet ponds, 5 grass under drain filters, 2 level spreaders, individual lots will be treated by roofline drip edge filters and forested buffers. Just wanted to read this for the record. I don't think we're going to be taking over any stormwater infrastructure, but if we were, 3% of the infrastructure costs are due, but otherwise 1% of the infrastructure costs will be borne by the applicant, and that's because we become responsible for making sure that the stormwater infrastructure continues operating. It looked like there was a map that showed there was a likelihood of historical and archaeological resources in the area. So I was wondering if there's a survey that will be done or if there's anything on that. I didn't see a plan on that. And then just a note on clarity for ownership. What's being proposed is the roads and the sidewalks will be taken over by the town. The cul-de-sacs will remain private. Stormwater infrastructure, open space will be a homeowners association. The applicant requested a temporary waiver in order to provide the analysis for final plan. That way, they just wanted to make sure that their lot size wouldn't change significantly, so their traffic study would be more accurate. Just point out, the Old Pine Hill and School Street intersection has been a high crash location for 30 years, on and off. And I think there's some improvements, opportunities. I think it could be a good win-win to get that taken care of. If waived tonight, they would have to submit their traffic plan for final approval. Several restrictive covenants are proposed to be placed in the deeds, including minimum building size. There's restriction on mobile homes, restrictions on accessory buildings, signs, vehicle storage, animals, tree clearing, and there's required site maintenance. We had Southern Maine Planning Development Commission review this, and these are his comments. Based on the soil information, Mr. Feldman would offer the following comments. the soils, as we know, are not great on the parcel. He recommends that the town hires a third party at the applicant's expense to provide on-site inspections during construction in order to make sure materials are placed in the roadway and compaction rates are being met to slow future deterioration of the roads through frost heaving. The third-party engineer should also inspect all erosion control to make sure all measures are put into place correctly and fixed after every storm period during construction. And the inspector should document all of his visits and provide the town documentation of the weekly work. See Article 10 of subdivision regulations for the guidance. The applicant also provided a maintenance log that the DEP will require for ongoing maintenance to the stormwater ponds and outlets. BJ says he would require that the developer or the homeowners association provide a copy of the logs going forward for the town's files on this project. That's something that we'll require, and that's kind of part of the reason why we have that 1% fee. And you may want the homeowners association to enter into this agreement with the town. All the coverage in this project should be designated to be habitat friendly. All stormwater buffers should require to be signed in the field indicating that those areas are no cut buffers so that the homeowners understand they cannot clear them if wooded in order to make a yard. And if open space should not be mowed or left unmaintained. And under miscellaneous, prior to approval, I would require the homeowners' documents to be submitted for review and require a bond for the cost of construction under Article 13, performance guarantees of the subdivision regulations. So, I'm sure you have questions. So at this point, I don't know if there's a few new board members. I didn't know if we wanted to do another site walk for the new members, just to check out the site again. I think this will be the 4th site walk during this process. Other than that, what's up for tonight is application completeness. And at that point, if the application is found complete, then a public hearing would be scheduled.
All right, I guess my only question is for the open space. I mean, there's so much of it. It's such a big development going into Berwick. Is that going to be accessible to anyone outside of these homeowners associations, like town residents?
We have not addressed that at this
Okay.
point.
All right.
Typically, this is mixed into this development,
Mhm.
and it would not necessarily be open for public recreation. I believe on one of our previous meetings, we had a discussion of this, and somebody in one of the boards or one of the town members was questioning why that would become public, because there was public stuff here in town now.
Mhm.
So, I think that's up for discussion.
Do you have a kind of a presentation you wanted to?
I don't think I need to, unless people have, there's a lot to this. Okay, it's, like you said, a 54-lot subdivision, there's 6,000 feet of road. It will be serviced by public water, public sewer. There'll be a pump station going in. Like you said, I have to take a stab at it, but approximately 4,500 feet of road will be taken over by the town. There'll be about another 1,500 feet that would be private. Essentially, that's it. We talked about the amount of wetlands we're impacting. We are driving that down. We're tinkering with the development with lot lines, trying to keep ourselves out of the wetlands. We've been able to reduce that number, I think, by about probably 20% at this point. We've got a couple of other things we'll look at, try to get it down a little bit lower. I know you have a letter from an abutter questioning the right of way. I brought in a letter tonight from Les Boswell's attorney, just refuting that. I do not believe that that is a planning board item. You have a boundary survey, you have what you need from us, and that becomes really a civil matter to move forward using something you do. So other than that, unless people have questions on the plans.
I have a question, is the sidewalks, are they gonna be on both sides, or on all of it, or just a limited
The intent would be on one side.
on one side?
That
Okay.
existing road that's out there now coming into the circle
Yeah,
is all prepped
right,
on the
right.
left-hand side.
And it's gonna stay, it's
for-
gonna continue that way?
Yeah,
Okay.
sidewalk. And then there will be, it doesn't show on our plans now, but there will be a sidewalk going up Pine Hill Road through the library.
Okay,
Nice.
okay.
Halfway
Yep,
away.
they're gonna update that.
And
Yes.
James, I heard you say something about like archaeological history?
Yeah,
Can
there's
you
one,
elaborate?
Let me take a look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
let me
love
take
to
it.
know what
Because
that is.
anything we've seen in the field out there, there really isn't any representation of any archaeological things. Okay, it
Mhm.
pretty much appears to be farmland that really didn't have any building development on it. But let us dig into that a little bit deeper.
Now,
What will happen with this now, and as soon as we see that you people are reasonably satisfied with the plans, we will submit it to DEP. And that today is at least a 6-month process. They're jammed up, they don't get to it right off, and they get close to their deadline, and they start looking at it and say, we need this, so normally that gets pushed off a little bit, but hopefully we can get it through them in 6 months. We will tinker with it at that time, so your final plans will have the things you asked for the now.
Oh, perfect.
So is this going to be a PUD or just restrictive
No, it's just a-
covenants?
It's a standard subdivision.
There are restrictive covenants, though,
There are restrictive covenants by all means.
All right.
There already are,
and they'll be deeded covenants?
that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, those are already in place on
Okay.
the existing 4 lots coming down Aquifer, and I would assume those will simply be extended.
Okay.
And you're good?
Good.
Okay, so I guess now we're gonna be looking for the determination of application completeness.
and I'll just make a quick note on the right-of-way situation. I did contact our attorney, I think yesterday. He hasn't got back to us, but that's something that we will have by the public hearing.
Yeah. Is that correct, Council?
Yep.
Alright. Make a motion to.
Find the application
Yes, I
complete.
find it complete.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Okay, there we go. Now, a site walk, you guys haven't seen it yet, so would you like to do a site walk and
I
go
think so.
through it? Okay, so then we'll schedule that for the next meeting.
Yep,
We're not gonna, then,
June 3rd, I think it is.
okay. And then 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock. Of course, the neighbors are invited.
Yep,
When is this, June 3rd?
June 3rd at 5 o'clock.
Everyone within 200 feet will get a notice in the mail.
Okay, and then the public hearing will probably be scheduled for that day too?
Yep.
Okay. All right, moving on. We have new business.
All right? See you June.
Before.
Okay.
Okay, conditional use application, outdoor storage, 405 Portland Street, Ricker. I'll let James
Okay.
take it away.
Mikhail and James Ricker have requested a conditional use for an outdoor storage facility at 405 Portland Street. This lot is in the rural commercial industrial zone. There is an existing use, Ricker's Mulch and More, and that will remain active. The storage facility will include 30 to 50 spaces, depending on the size of the vehicles, for RVs, campers, boats, and similar items. An office is included in this application as an accessory to the storage facility. We'll see in the sidewalk, I mean, the setback's 40 feet, the Rickers say it's 40 feet, it looks closer than 40 feet, but
What setback is that now?
from your front lot,
From the road?
so the front setback is from the front of your lot.
Yeah.
We'll get into that,
Okay.
no problem.
Thank you.
You know, my time.
Yeah, thanks.
There's an existing concrete slab for the parking area and gravel for the parking area and for emergency access around it. Hours of operation are proposed to be the same as the mulch business, and there'll be 3 additional employees. An entrance gate and fence has already been added along the road. LED lighting is proposed for the project that will be facing away from the road and downward facing, night skies compliant. The sketch provided is a zoomed in on the right side of the lot with a proposal 70 feet from the property line of lot 1A. It does look like that side of the lot is forested to meet the requirements of 7.5 and 7.8. 7.8.5, it requires screening for off-street parking. It requires screening of parking facilities from public streets, but that can be, and it says not to be less than 6 feet in height, but that can be modified or waived by the planning board. And that can be a point of discussion for tonight. Yeah. So that's it. I'm sure the board might have some questions on the site plan. I think at this time, it's okay with the chair to have applicants come up and present what they have.
Greg?
That's basically it. That's it. I mean, basically everything that.
You gotta come up to the mic, sorry, you gotta.
Basically everything that we're doing is, everything's already been done. We're just repurposing the property.
Okay.
We only gravelled a little bit of an area to move the mulch bins, but everything else is there. So all the gravel, the part that we're gonna do where the storage is already established. It's been established for over 20 years now. So, I mean, that's basically it. Nobody will be working on anything there. They're just gonna park them and leave them, and then obviously they'll be making appointments to pull them in and out, so.
So James, you were talking about screening. What sort of screening? In front of where these vehicles are going to be?
It would be screening at the,
Along here.
along the street, yeah.
Between the street and the vehicles that are going to be parked there?
Yeah.
So we need to screen it so they can't see it?
Yeah.
How come the other ones don't have to? The other facilities down the street don't have to?
Which ones?
We have 3 other facilities that do outdoor storage as well, down the road from us. You got Prime Storage, you got when you
This
leave-
is a for parking facility.
Huh?
This is for parking.
Well, it's the same thing as what they're doing, it's just another
I would
part.
agree with that. I think they all should be screened. But, I mean, we can talk about, I mean, do you have a problem with throwing some landscaping?
There's gonna be a 6-foot
Fence.
going along the roadside anyways, as of now. It'll be put up as soon as we get it in.
I mean, do you want it so you can't see them at all? Is that what you're talking about? Because I mean, with the other business, we kind of gotta advertise.
No,
pretty
I
much.
mean, I think it's just the parking area. It's, I mean, the word is softened, I guess.
So, yeah, I mean, it's chain link fence, so, it's what most people use, and I mean, does that count as a screen, or how in-depth?
It's a start, yeah.
Be?
It's a start, yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a fence, there'll be a 6-foot fence across
Yeah.
the whole
I mean,
front.
it does say that the standard can be modified or waived by the planning board. I mean, this is something that could be put on hold until we do a site walk and.
Yeah, I would say that, right? Yeah, because if we're gonna look at, and if it has to do with your advertising of your business too, that's something to be considered, so.
Yeah, like we wouldn't make you block off the entire,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I
the
mean.
worst case would be we want to see some reasonable landscaping, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's already, I mean, we already got grass and everything
Yeah.
all there that we have.
I mean, the chain link fence might do it, but it's up to the board.
Yeah, when we take a look at it, we should figure it out then.
And are there any abutters that have any issue with anything
So
around?
tonight would be application.
Complete.
If, once an application found complete, then we'll send the notices for a public hearing.
Oh,
I have one question, more for protection to you. Is there gonna be any type of security with what's said
Yeah,
in
we're
there?
gonna have cameras, and, we're gonna have cameras on the office, and where we have the light proposed, we're gonna have cameras on there
Right,
too.
because like you said, there's not gonna be a fence all the way around, so somebody could actually come in.
Yeah, no, the cameras are gonna be overlapping where we put them, so
Okay,
we'll have that.
that's more for your protection. I'm looking
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
Okay,
But you're not having a gate or anything like that, Jamie?
Any what?
there's
You're
a
not
gate.
going to have a gate?
No, we have a.
Yeah, we
There's a
put
gate
up a
there.
new gate.
Oh, okay.
It's like a big slide gate, so it'll be locked, and then when you come down, I'll show you where we're gonna run the fencing, And then where I stopped the fencing on one part of the property, I ran all Jersey barriers, so people can't drive in to try to get stuff out.
Right. That's where I was
So-
going with the
Yeah.
security type thing too.
Yes,
So just
yeah.
to protect you with what you have said in
Right.
there. Okay.
Exactly. Well, just to make the people that want to park there safe, feel that it's more secure.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, all that will be,
Sounds good.
Okay, so I guess we're just gonna vote on, determine the application completeness.
I make a motion that we find the application complete.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, here we go. Now we'll just, schedule a site walk and.
Yeah, we got a sidewalk for June 3rd, so.
That'd be the next one after that.
June 7th, is June 17th, okay?
whatever works for you, whatever will be in the evening, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
We
Okay,
usually do it at 5.
all right. Yep, that's fine. That
Okay,
works.
great.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.
So next is public comment. Anyone has a public comment they'd like to state?
I will. My name is Tom Blanchard. I reside at 96 Old Pine Hill Road. So it's actually facing Halflinger Lane. So I'm very interested in the new development. Concern is when Dick Damaris had Damaris Development Properties with Hadley Moore and Sherry Properties when they were in development that back in 2008 when it was originally approved. We were the first, I bought the first piece of property there under the auspices of 19 homes being in a dead-end cul-de-sac neighborhood. So my house was the seed project that started the whole development, and it did pick up my neighbors. Their homes were built subsequently too. So I'm really concerned about the traffic because I'm kind of disappointed because I feel a little bit of bait and switch. So, and I feel my neighbors, we all feel the same because this is not what we bought into or what we intended. So we understand the 19 homes, but the 54, that's a lot. That's a huge scope change. So we do hope you take that into consideration. And moreover, should this development connect Halflinger Lane with, what's the other street?
Norman Court.
With Norman Court, that really would be disappointing. And that's our biggest fear. Because we all have families, and we don't want it to be a thoroughfare or a shortcut.
So where is your home now?
96 Old Pine Hill Road.
Okay.
So the first home is you come in on Halflinger Lane on the right.
We're not supposed to talk about
Yeah.
if the applicant's not here, but thank you. I think that's good. If you have other, more concerns that pop up, send an email. That way it can be read into the record, it will be put on public record.
Thank you.
But if the applicant's not here, we're not.
Understand.
You're not supposed to
But there was a comment you made about abutting notices within 200 feet.
Yep.
Where is that 200 feet defined?
It's 200 feet of the edge of both the Norman Court and the Halflinger lot. So that
So it's
from
a lot.
each edge of that.
So does it begin on Old Pine Hill Road?
It would be 200 feet from any edge point of their lot, of the two lots that they're proposing to develop.
Correct, but my understanding is that right now Halflinger Lane is still a private road that now it would, when he purchased the original property, the rights from Damaris Estates, that he still owns the private right-of-way. So does that include the 200 feet from that piece? Is that part of the project?
Yeah, I think the right-of-way would be kind of the start, or
Okay.
maybe and if it's 205 feet, you're probably still getting a notice.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
fine.
mean?
Well, I will also like to say that I'm very pleased to hear, I heard someone mention about finally getting a sidewalk on, from.
The library.
Yeah, my wife used to work at the daycare facility. They used to bring the children to the library repeatedly, but I would always try to talk them out of it because I thought it was very dangerous, but it was very beneficial for the kids. And we got a library, use it.
Yeah.
You know, and now we got, you know, if we're gonna enlarge the community, more residential property, I think it's more important to connect everyone through sidewalks.
Absolutely.
So, that's all I'd say.
Hopefully that's the start of a good segment.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, I guess we're gonna go to informational items.
I just say June 3rd, you're
Yes.
obviously welcome to come.
Thank you.
I had something, it'll come back to me.
June
Don't forget.
3rd.
For the sidewalk and public hearing. Okay, anyone else have any informational items? No, so then we're gonna move for an adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor? Here we go. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.